Why does your money situation suck? Well, like most things, it's a fairly simple explanation. Your money situation sucks, especially in the commission sales space, for one of two reasons. Reason number one, you're not working hard enough. Period. If you're not working hard enough and you're not going out and picking up jobs that generate sales, that put money in your pocket, your money situation is gonna suck. And I'm not saying that this isn't common in every industry, but I work exclusively with commission salespeople, although I think this is a fairly general concept. If you don't work hard, you don't make money, period. I don't want to hear any of the other bullshit. I'm victim of this circumstance, victim of that circumstance. If you're not working hard, you don't have very much money. Number two is you're spending more money than you're making. I know, simple arithmetic. I'll tell you a little bit of a story, and I've seen this play out so many times. I call it the commission death spiral. Salesman comes in from a job where he's getting paid either weekly or bi-weekly. It's a he or a she, it doesn't matter. And they're making a fairly good living, usually younger people. I know when I started in this space, I was making 15 bucks an hour, which I'm dating myself a little bit, but I'm making 15 bucks an hour. I'm working 50, maybe 52 hours a week, getting a little bit of overtime in there. And on a bi-weekly basis, I'm bringing in $800 and some change. And I see this all the time with new salesmen. They're bringing in $800, let's call it a better situation, maybe $1,100, $1,200 every 2 weeks. Well, they decide to do this job full time, and the position they find themselves in is now, rather than making $1,100 every 2 weeks, they're making $6,500 a month. Well, you can do the math. That's a lot more than $1,100 every 2 weeks. It's sad. I try to give forewarning, and I did this too early on. As their income level grows, so do the expenses, and it becomes this necessity to flex on everyone and buy the nicest shit you can find so that people know you're making really good money. And let's be honest, all the stuff that they buy and all the stuff that I've bought throughout my life, it all gets old, it loses its sheen, it really is of no value. And in a commission-based sales position, the income is not regular. So it's very difficult to budget for what you're going to have. I have made $0 for a 5-week period. And then the following 3 weeks after that, maybe $25,000. It's very sporadic amounts of money. Well, the money is great, but if you don't budget it properly and put the right stuff away, you find yourself in a very dangerous position. Let me get back to my story. New salesman comes in, and all of a sudden, this salesman is making $6,500 a month. Well, they begin to spend $6,500 a month because that's what they're making. Now, commission-only sales positions, most of the time, at least at my company, is paid on a 1099 basis. So they're not W-2 employees. I'm not withholding money out of their checks. They spend $6,500 when they make $6,500. And you sit and look at the expense report at the end of the year and see, okay, this person made $175,000. This person made $110,000. This person made $220,000. And I think back on it and I say, okay, before they came here, they were making $40,000 a year or $38,000 a year, or in some rare circumstances, no dollars a year. Well, you owe taxes on that $175, that $220, that $110,000. And I got a friend of mine whose stepdad always says this, I'm afraid of two people, and it's God and the IRS. I see this situation happen all the time. Income increases, expenses increase, nothing is put back in savings, nothing is put back for investment, nothing is put back for retirement, no smart financial decisions are made, new trucks are bought, financed at 0% down on an 84 month, and you wind up paying $110,000 for a $60,000 pickup truck that's worth $20,000 when it's paid off. What a terrible financial decision. But I digress. Go back to our story and our friend, our salesman, who has just had the best financial year of their life, now has to sit down on April 15th and file taxes on $220,000. And the IRS doesn't care what your circumstances are. They find themselves sitting there right after winter in the springtime. I'm here in Ohio where there's not a lot of roofing going on in the winter. And your accountant's handing you a large 5-figure tax bill, and you're looking at your bank account and there is 4 figures in your bank account. And this starts the spiral of what absolutely wrecks a lot of commission-only salespeople, especially in the roofing and siding restoration industry here in Central Ohio. It wrecks them. And now you've created a debt for yourself that the IRS doesn't care about your situation. Feel free to set up a payment plan and they will allow you to pay massive chunks on a monthly basis towards that payment plan. Now you've added an additional debt liability on a monthly basis. Your expenses don't change. You get to the end of the year and you've paid off a portion of that tax liability. Now you're stacking another tax debt on top of that debt. The tax spiral is a real problem in commission-only sales, and I try to make it a point to sit down with the guys who work for me to go over what I have been taught financially, which is real money moves in silence. And most of the people who are walking around amongst us today that are millionaires, you don't even know it. Maybe they're driving a 6-7-year-old vehicle or a 10-year-old vehicle. They've treated their finances like they're supposed to be treated, which is money is difficult to come by. It is a means. It is not an end in and of itself. So they've treated it that way. I need to make sure that I am treating my finances when I'm a commission-only salesman the same way that I was when I was making 15 bucks an hour. I tell all my guys to put 30% of your money into an account for you to pay taxes at the end of the year. Now, what are the chances that any of us are going to owe 30% in taxes being an independent contractor? Is very slim, but 30% away, and also create yourself some savings. Put something into savings. Don't just get money and as fast as you get it, spend it on shit that's going to be worth nothing in 2 years, and it's going to have no value to you in 6 months. Might make you feel better temporarily, but it doesn't have any value. The kind of people who want to get into the roof and siding restoration industry are coming from backgrounds where they haven't had a lot of financial training, but it's something to be very aware of, and it's totally avoidable. And this job gives so many people who otherwise wouldn't have the ability to make ridiculous sums of money. It gives those kind of people the ability to build a very, very good life if you treat the money properly. I'm not a financial guru. I've just made all the mistakes and had to learn them the hard way like I did everything else in my life. But I wanted to take some time to let commission salespeople understand that if you get trapped in this spiral, it is very difficult, if not entirely impossible, to get out unscathed. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you being here. Like and subscribe for more tips. See ya.